Well, good morning. I don't know if you can see me. I'm going to have to get down this way. But this is Steve and Libby, I'm doing this video for you so that you will see how I make biscuits because you asked me to do a tutorial. Unfortunately, I don't have a cameraman, so I am literally going to do this with the camera sitting to the side. You're not going to see me very much other than my body making the biscuits. And those that you hear are from Ollie because he thinks I'm talking to somebody who's not. So, the very first thing that we do is, or that I do, is I have to get the flour ready for it. So, I put in to my mixture 2 cups of self-rising flour. Just put it right into the sifter. And then I've got some baking soda, or baking powder, excuse me. And I get a good old heaping tablespoon of baking powder and put it in there as well. And then this is my salt. I will take a pinch of salt, put it on there, and this is not sugar. This is actually that sugar substitute, and I just put a couple of pinches of that in there. And then I sift it right into the bowl. By the way, before you start doing this, turn your oven on and get it preheated because you really need it. And it needs to be at about 450 degrees. Now once I've sifted it and everything, then I have some buttermilk here. And I will be using that, and the only other ingredient that I have for my biscuits is vegetable shortening, which is right here. So what I do is, with a clean hand, I reach into my vegetable shortening and get a big old hunk of it, just like that. I take my buttermilk and I first pour a little bit of it right in the middle, and then I set that shortening right in the bowl, right on top of it, and I start working the shortening with my hand. And all I'm doing is just squeezing it. Just squeezing it. And I just covered up the camera so you can see, hopefully, if I can get it over there. Well, never mind. I'm just squeezing it, just like this. And I will add a little bit more buttermilk. And I keep squeezing it until I get all the flour that's in the bowl in that squeezable thing. So I keep adding more buttermilk and just moving it around just like this, and just squeezing it with my hand. I like so. This is about the texture of it. I'm going to add just a little bit more because I like mine a little bit wetter. And to be really honest, the wetter it is before you start rolling it out, the fluffier your biscuits will be, and moister. So now that's about the right thing right there. So I get all this off my fingers and put it back in the bowl, and I just let it stand for just a few minutes while I go clean my hands. Now, that's all cleaned, or my hands are clean anyway, and I'm going to move. I still have this much buttermilk left over, so I'm going to move everything off my counter because I need some space to roll these out. And I sometimes roll them in my hand, sometimes I prefer to roll them on the counter. So I'm going to take a little bit of the self-rising flour, put it right in my sifter, and I just dust my counter with it. And in my kitchen, as you know, my counter that I usually do this on is right over my dishwasher. So it actually makes for good cleaning. I open the dishwasher drawer and sweep all this off into a little bag. I don't put it in the dishwasher, but it makes it easier on my countertop. So anyway, that's there. Once I have that on there, then I pull the entire thing of dough out, put it on there, take a little dusting of this and put it on top, and just work it. And you don't want to work this too much. I literally just work it just about this much. And I get it into a ball, press it down. Now, there's a little trick to this. If you want to have those biscuits that just open right up, let me show you what you can do. I do take a roller. I take a little roller and I will roll it out like this. And then take some of the flour and put it right on top of it, just like that. And when I do that, I then turn it, I fold it. Sometimes I'll even do it this way, put some more flour on that top fold, and then fold it again, and then roll it again. And that's usually all I do. And I roll it till it is about ½ inch thick. And then from there, it's called putting it in the pan. So I just cut it out. I do have a biscuit cutter, but you can use whatever you want. I just press it out and carefully lift it, put it in there, put it in there. And by the way, I started with 2 cups of self-rising flour, but because I don't make a ton of biscuits for myself anymore. But if you want one for, that'll make a full pan of biscuits, it's probably best if you use 3 cups. But still just put in the tablespoon of baking powder, pinch of sugar, pinch of salt. I don't like the way that one looks. It's hard to mess these up. I mean, you just simply pat it out, roll it, cut it. Now I actually got an entire pan out of that with leftover dough. So I'm throwing that leftover dough away, because what else am I going to do with it? And the next thing I do right before I put it into the oven is, to make it homemade, you're supposed to press it down like so. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't, but I usually try to. But I also will take some, well, that's a ton of olive oil. I don't have olive oil, that's not what I meant. I take a cooking oil and I would just simply put that over it. It makes for a better crust. So I'm going to put a little cooking oil in the this thing. And I just take the cooking oil and just put it right on top. Vegetable oil, whatever you want to use. You can use avocado oil. I would not recommend using sesame oil because that one has a smell to it that you're not going to, it's not really good. Okay, there's the biscuits. I will now put them into the oven. They're going to cook until they're golden brown, and then I'll come back and show you how they look. Again, the oven needs to be at 450 degrees.